In this video, we're going to learn a few basic CSS properties. To prepare for this, I picked some colors. So I went into a color wheel product and chose a set of colors. Notice that you have a lot of combinations that you can use once you pick a main color. And I picked this triad of 3 colors. And this gave me a whole palette of colors that I could use. And if I export these as CSS, then I get those hex codes or the RGB codes. And what I did with those is I simply put them up here at the top of my page so that I have access to use them. All right, the first property I want to use is the background color property. Remember that we can give it a value, so I can give it one of these hex numbers. I'm going to give it this main color. I want that to be my background. Notice that this is not complete though, right? This is just the property value combination, and what I need is to decide what I want to apply that to. So I'm going to apply the background to the entire, well, let's just apply it to a paragraph and see what happens if we apply it to paragraph. So I want this to be inside those curly braces. And now I've added it to paragraph. So if I go to my web page and I refresh, I have several paragraphs and they show up with that background. Notice how you can see the outline of the space that the paragraphs are taking up when you do this. That looks kind of odd to me. That's not exactly what I want. So I'm going to change this and put it that I don't want it on all the P tags, I want it on the body tag. And if I save that, then I get that background color over the entire page because the body covers all of the content that is displayed in the web page. So there I'm going to use the body tag. So that's what background color does. Another property that I can add in here, if I put it in here, I'm going to be adding it to the whole page, is the color property. Now the color property sets the color of the text. So I'm going to pick up another color here and I'm going to add that down here, and let's see what happens when we add this color to the text. And there it shows up. So now you see all of the text, all the color of the text inside the body now has changed to that color. Looks like it hasn't happened here on the A tag. So that means there's a style property already set on those A tags that has higher precedence. And you see that A tags come with color and underline. Let's go ahead and say, well, we want to set those. So let's change the style of the A tag. And I want to get rid of that underline. So one of the property that I can use is text decoration. Notice how my editor is giving me clues about what work. It's really nice because that spells it right. Now text decoration, this isn't a color, but this is a keyword, and underline is what is already set, and we see that, and I want to do none. So I can set that, and that got rid of that text decoration. Now I want the color on my A tags. I could make it exactly the same as the other ones, but you want your A tags to show up as somehow to let people know that these are really a link, so they need to be different than everything else. So let's just pick another color and see if that kind of will do what we want. Okay, so that doesn't make them very much different, but we'll learn some fun things to do with A links in a later video. Let's see, so let's try to get something that's quite a bit darker and stands out. So I'm going to pull from my very darkest up here of my main color and see if that will have enough contrast to make them stand out. Okay, and so there we get something different for those links. Another property that we can set is the width property. So let's go ahead and change the width of the paragraphs. Width property works on block elements, so not on inline elements, but it'll work on block elements. And the width, now we need length value. And so length values, you can put a number of some kind. So here I'm going to put 52, followed directly, no spaces, by a unit. And there are 2 letters that represent units. You can have, there's inches, there's centimeters, there's a variety of different units, and you can look those up. The one I'm going to use is a pixel, and its representation is px. So if I set width of a property, let's see what that does. Oh, look, it made all of those paragraphs only 52 pixels wide, which is an indication, okay, I don't quite want it that small. What happens if I make them 252 pixels wide, and there are my paragraphs. You see that every paragraph, notice it hasn't affected the headings or the lists, but it's affected the paragraphs. That's still pretty small. What happens if I make it even bigger? All right, so now I've got my paragraphs out there a certain width. Another property that I can set is text align. And text align also needs a keyword, and it can be right, left, or center. So what happens if I text align those paragraphs? Notice that they are a certain width, and within that width, they get lined up to the right. They're right aligned. Notice my images were right aligned inside its paragraph, right? I've got those images inside a paragraph. And so when I right align them, I get that. The other one I can do is center, or the default one, which is left. So there I centered them, and now the text is all centered. So that's what text align does. And there are just a few properties to get you started. The background color that sets the background of whatever element you select. Color, which sets the text color. Text decoration, which is an underline or strike through or none. And how you can set width on border block elements and text align.